got the barbecue fired up. You know, it's spring going into summer, and why not do the barbecues? We got some pretty large T-bones here. On the weeks that I want to really lean up, I will actually add more beef in. I don't, like you leave the fat in for a bit of flavor, but I don't consume it. But I do up my red meat on the weeks that I try to really clean things up. I went shopping. I love peppers, especially with my red meat proteins. Got a bunch of red and green peppers. I'm not a huge fan of mushrooms, but you know what? They do add to the meal. So let's get this all prepped up and onto the barbecue. As far as cleaning my veggies, these are all going over the fire, so I'm not too worried. I got the mushrooms in there, got the red peppers there, green peppers go in. We'll give them a quick wash and then get them ready for prep to put on the barbecue. The only real prep is for the mushrooms because the peppers are just going to go right onto the grill. Charred peppers have an amazing flavor, so you don't have to add anything. Other than that, like we've prepped the steaks, you got to bring them up to room temperature so they cook properly. You don't want cold centers of your steak when you throw them on the barbecue, otherwise they just get too, bloody type thing. You get a really good cook. We're going to aim for medium rare like we always do. But let's get back to the mushrooms. Super simple. It's literally put the mushrooms in a bowl. All right, and we got some black pepper, garlic. Who doesn't like garlic? Yes, I love my feta, and it adds a nice flavor when it melts and roasts up. Lemon juice. Ooh, yeah. A little bit of olive oil. Don't eat any salt here because we've added the feta. If you're, lactose intolerant, you could add a little bit of salt if you want. And that's just mix it up. It is really that easy. Just make sure all those mushrooms get coated. Look at that. Oh yeah. And the easiest way to cook up a bunch of mushrooms is in tin foil. I like to put it in a bowl when I'm doing this because then I can just fold the sides over and it's ready to be plopped on the barbecue. Like I said, what a gorgeous day. Why wouldn't you be outside barbecuing? So I actually double wrapped the mushrooms just because there was a little more weight than I expected. You don't want it to tear through when you're taking it off and ruin your dinner. Peppers. Got these steaks. Like I said, they are room temperature. So the order you're going to want to put these on, because there's a lot of mass here with this many mushrooms, is the mushrooms will go on probably 2 minutes ahead of the peppers because you're going to want to rotate them. If you find the peppers get done quicker, then you can always take them off. But you don't want to time everything out so that your steaks have to wait too long or the steaks are done too soon and then you got to wait for the veggies to cook. Everything's determinant on this because this is the most expensive piece and you don't want to have to wait or ruin anything. That being said, your steaks should always stand for between 5 and 8 minutes after cooking, so judge accordingly. That's why I like to get the veggies out of the way first. So, like I said, get her opened up, take all those mushrooms, gonna put it right there, dead center of the barbecue for the first 2 minutes, we'll say. So as you can see, in about 2 minutes, we've already got a little bit of a sizzle going on in there. That's beautiful. So it is now time to add our peppers. Not going to be anything special here, just gonna, oh yeah, do it up, do it up. Look at that. Spread them around nicely. Love the smell of grilled peppers. It's kind of just makes the day perfect. And there's no specific way that you do this. You know, cooking is supposed to be fun. Eating's the most fun part, but yeah, it is really this simple. On a beautiful day like today, you just meal prep enough for basically 4 or 5 days. Gonna make sure we leave enough room for steaks on the side. But there you go. Oh yeah. I know you can taste this, even though you're just watching. For those wondering, I usually like to get the barbecue warmed up on high, get it over 600 degrees so you can scrape off and clear off the grills properly. Then I knock it down to about a third. And while I'm cleaning and getting everything ready, I usually like the temp around 425 to 450 for actual cooking. So as you can see, the peppers are grilling up nicely. I just spin them, just get a nice little char on it. Like I said, there's no absolute way, only one way of doing this kind of stuff. There's nothing wrong with learning while you're doing it. There you go. And like I said, peppers have such a great taste on their own that I really don't add anything to them. So we're at about the 3-minute mark with peppers. I think just with what I'm seeing, I'm probably going to take these up to the 6-minute mark before I put the steaks on. Actually ended up taking them to about the 8-minute mark because I wanted a good char on them. Move the mushrooms to the top just so they don't overcook. And now it is steak time. Yeah, I'm using my hands. I'm eating it, so it don't matter. Get one of them on there. Oops. There we go. These are fairly large. Yeah, so all I've done is I've lightly salted the steaks. That's it. Once again, put nothing on the peppers. You saw at the beginning how we prepped the mushrooms. Looking forward to this. Gonna aim for about 3.5 minutes on each side because they're bone in. You can knock almost a minute off each side when you don't have the bone. And don't be afraid to get a little char on the peppers. That's when the best flavor comes out. If you don't like the look, you can always just peel that layer off. See, it comes off so easy. But I mean, that's where all the flavor is. Oh, so good. But it's time to flip the steaks. Well, as you can see, these are really tender cuts. You got to be gentle. There we go. Well, technically, this one's not really ready, but we'll just be gentle with it. The rule of thumb is if it's sticking, it's not quite ready to be flipped. But I am trying to keep them more to the medium rare side, so yeah, only a few minutes away. Whew, looking good. Oh yeah, those steaks are ready to come off. Yep, this will time out real nice. So we'll take the steaks off, let these ones stand for about 5 minutes, and then we'll pull the mushrooms and peppers. I would call this a whole bunch of win. Oh yeah. Mushrooms are looking amazing. I'm not even a huge fan of mushrooms, but damn, those look good. And of course the peppers. So one thing I didn't add that I like to do with the peppers is whatever I don't eat with my meals in the first day or two, what I love to do is blend them up and then chop up some tomatoes, onions, cilantro, oregano, and kind of make it into a salsa. So I have a healthy option to dunk. You know, let's be honest. Chicken breast isn't the best thing if you're having it every day, but when you have different sauces and flavorings that you can add to it, like a bell pepper sauce, maybe even toss in some habanero, makes eating healthy that much more enjoyable. So there we go. Oh yeah. And there you have it. Like, I won't eat that whole steak in one sitting, but I'll probably eat, I'll leave that much for a later snack. I added a little bit of a homemade sesame sauce to the peppers and the mushrooms, but that is a beautiful, that's usually like a third or a fourth meal of the day for me. And I try and eat minimum 5 meals. If I'm doing a really heavy, strenuous exercise day, I'll bump it up to 6.